heart is, the center of our gravity. Home is not a privilege that is granted by Her Majesty. A home is our right, a place to raise our family. Home is where we go for tranquility and sanctity. Home is where we feel at peace and we can have some privacy, where I can voice my thoughts and nobody tries to silence me. Home is where commotion turns to settling dust. Home is where we raise our kids to be better than us. And home is more than just a house. Home is where there's unity. Home is where we gather. Home is our communities. Home is the connection that we share when we trust. Home is not about me. Home is about us. Home is the guiding light within that we feel drawn to. Home is the source of our creation we belong to. Let them try with their lies, meant to pull us apart. We always find our way home, cause we know it by heart.
All these long and lonely roads, they wind and bend, they find me friends, they lead me home. And I know, no matter where I roam, I'm watching love from high above, I'm not alone.
Home is our cities, our states and our countries. Home is the earth below, the sky above me. Home is the truth we instinctively know, helping us to find home everywhere that we go. But there's many false prophets trying to lead us astray, who wanna tell us what to do, but not hear what we say. They ignore us while they play their game of righteous pretend, like we don't notice that their rules ain't applying to them. While our children have lost their future, made to cover up their faces, forced to get injections for attendance at their favorite places. Where does it end? When we take to the streets, the government won't call a hearing, they just call the police. And to the faceless stormtroopers, where is your humanity? Just following orders is no excuse for your insanity. It's time to cut the rod out at the source like a cavity. It's time to go home and realize that we're a family.
All these long and lonely roads, they wind and bend, they find me friends, they lead me home. And I know, no matter where I roam, I'm watching love from high above, I'm not alone.
This country, is this the way you like to live? Constantly harassed to put a mask upon your wife and kids. Cops with riot packs who like to act as if no rights exist. Alive, but we're not really living. What kind of life is this? A world that's full of risks, but we don't need protection, cause all of their solutions are much worse than the infection. If we want resolution, we need unity, not politics. Why should we trust somebody who's broken so many promises? But maybe this was meant to be and had to happen all along. The cycle's always spinning and it's darkest right before the dawn. It's funny, to the point of laughing out loud, cause what they said would never happen, well it's happening now. And so many are waking up. Welcome to the front lines. The ones who know behind the clouds will always be the sunshine. You and I see through the lies, no longer alone, and let the compass in our souls guide and carry us home.
All these long and lonely roads, they wind and bend, they find me friends, they lead me home. And I know, no matter watching love from high above, I'm not alone. All these long, lonely roads lead me home. I'm watching love from high above, I'm not alone. All these friends, they lead me home. And I know, no matter where I roam, I'm watching love from high above, I'm not alone. Take me home.
Hello everyone, it's Scott with Canund Nation here. Yeah, it's been an interesting weekend. I hear the truckers up in Ottawa, they're doing pretty good. Now there's more roadblocks on main highways heading across the border. It's not a long-term solution, but they're making progress. I mean, Saskatchewan, Alberta, BC is all lifted, some of the maritime provinces. I think even Manitoba talked about lifting their conditions. The only one that hasn't, I believe, is Ontario and Trudeau. So it makes it quite interesting. Now, I didn't come to talk to you about that, but I was actually supposed to have a guest here tonight, and they're going to interview me. I guess something happened and they weren't able to join me. Um, so I want to talk about earlier. Woke up to people misunderstanding a post that was on my Facebook wall. As a man who had dealt with addictions in the past, I've worked with people with addictions for years. When I heard Pat King state that, hey, he was getting away from alcohol, that's great. The post was not meant to attack anyone. It was meant to strengthen and say, okay, can you guys pray for him, right? Whether you like the guy or not, you got to respect the hell out of someone when they actually want to become clean. That's what I was trying to say. And maybe a lot of people misunderstood it or read it halfway through. Either way, and then the older you get, the harder it is to quit as well. Now, I'm not saying I've seen him drink or anything. I was just watching a video he said yesterday. I was actually surprised when he came out and said that. So I even sent him an email saying, hang in there, brothers, stuff like that. Now, me being First Nations and him being First Nations, it was kind of like, hey, it was like a call to prayer. And I've seen many different cultures do this. Is like a call to prayer to saying, hey, pray for strength for him. Is kind of what it was, right? So as you can see, I got a new background here. I got actually a lot of new ones. I like the green one the best. It means prosperity, right? And yes, the guy in the back there isn't actually here, but anyways. But no, one thing also I wanted to mention is everyone's sitting there talking the freedom of charter and rights, but they can be suspended at any time. People should really focus on the Bill of Rights. It was done in 1960, August 10th, 1960, that was put in. This was what allowed First Nations to leave the reserve without being prisoners anymore for the first time. This is what allowed gay people no longer to be locked up in mental health hospitals for be considering mentally ill because they were gay. It allowed for a lot of other things as well as freedom of the press, allowed for medical freedom to choose and medical privacy. So that's why it's important. They can't suspend the Bill of Rights. Now, as normally as a non-for-profits, we're not supposed to get involved with politics. Now, that being said, the reason why I'm just reading the bill, not the politics. Either way, what's going on around this country, we need change for positive. And we created a new truckers chat group because anyone who's in our groups, a few of them like, they're posting stuff about the truckers. I'm glad to hear about the truckers, but it confused other people that are in there that it's supposed to be about Canund Nation. That's why we kind of started the other group there today, like group chat thing. Now, not to sound too much like a broken record, but one thing I like about there's a few things I like about the Bill of Rights. The Bill C-15 Indigenous Act. Not whether you like the name Indigenous or not, that's what they call it. I didn't come up with the name. 7.2 allows for a third party no longer to be able to steal our kids. Can't be moved off the land under 10.1. 11.2 can demand compensation for the minerals, resources, or anything stolen. 14.1 allows for our own education. 16.1 allows for our own media. And 23.1 allows for our own economic system. This is why we're having the fundraiser. We got a lot of other things we're working on in the background, including I'm selling a big company. So once that sells, we might get a lot of funds to what we need to do. And yes, I'd happily donate it. Now, I've had some people, but Scott, what's in it for you? Well, simply a roof over my head, a position, and seeing my people prosper. That's what's in it for me. I've never really did the business thing to make money. Yeah, okay, it'd be nice to have money, nice to have a new truck, place, roof, food, stuff like that. But as far as I'm concerned, it's just a digital number on a screen, right? And that's kind of how you have to look at it. Another thing is 26.1 allows us to reclaim our heritage land. Then you have number 30.1 allowing us to keep any military we don't want on land without they're not allowed to enter our property. 32.2 allows for anything development-wise. We can shut down, control, or add to, which is nice. Not that we want to control anything, but if someone's using chemicals for processing and mining, that shouldn't be there. Chemical processing is harsh to the environment, and we've seen proof of that. 33.1 allows for us to define our membership. So under Indigenous, and again, a lot of people don't like that name, includes Native. Native means one's place of birth. So anyone who's born in Canada is a native-born Canadian. So we allow them. We accept Native tribes, First Nations tribes, First Peoples tribes, Inuit tribes, Métis tribes, stuff like that. People from all walks of life. If you're born here, you have a right to be able to come be a citizen, as well as people from treaty others. Now, you can still come and join if you're not part. You can't be a citizen. You can become a guest and still work, still participate, and be part of us as well. But the whole idea with this system is to put our people first and then the whole world second, which is what was not happening now. We have so many homeless across Canada, and yet we put newcomers in hotels. Now, I get it, they've been through shit, but our people are being through shit too. If we had every one of our people up and working and off the ground, no homeless, no poverty, that would be huge, because we're very strong, right? But we don't have that right now. We aren't taking care of our own people, and we have kids living on the streets. I know you don't mostly see it, but it's happening. And so this is what I mean by, like, if we take care of our own people, hopefully within a few generations, our people will not know what poverty was ever like compared to what it is nowadays. How you could barely make it to the next meal, worrying about how you're going to get paid. It's our whole system is set up to make it so people can live well with very little, and you can pay a place off in a couple of years. You still earn what you get, but not to the point where you have to pay an arse through taxes. There's no land taxes, no sales tax, and the maximum councils can charge is 10% fixed income tax for business, personal, or anyone else. And beyond that, there's nothing else that can be charged. So that doesn't mean that they have to charge a full 10%. It could be 5%, could be 2%, 1%, stuff like that, right? It's just, the point is, if you don't put it out in plain English or in the Constitution, someone could take advantage of it. And I want to make sure that we didn't have like today, where practically you're paying almost 70% for tax between income, land, sales, green. The list goes on of how many different taxes we're paying. It's not even funny. Heck, our insurance company is owned by the government, and then we still pay tax on that. We pay tax on the carbon tax. Figure that one out, eh? It's just a money grab, and it's stupid. On the capital gains tax, too. That is, yeah. So when it comes down to it, we need change, and it'll only happen if people come together to make change. And that's what it comes down to. If people don't come together, we're never going to make that change. And that's what it really comes to. And that's what Canund Nation is about, is positive change. We're getting 3 million acres in northern Saskatchewan, lots of waterfront property. When I say northern Saskatchewan, I mean close to the territory border. This allows, and there's no wind up there, so it's not colder. It's actually, well, kind of warmer. With no wind, this means no blowing snow, no ice cold wind going through your property, like or in your house, like you do down south here. So minus 20 can be killer down here. We're minus 50 up there, or minus 40. On average, about minus 38 kind of thing during the winter. But yeah, should be quite interesting for sure. We definitely will be moving forward as time goes on. And I'm glad that anyone who saw this, please subscribe, share the heck out of this. Let's move forward as one people instead of being so divided. And yeah, welcome to the movement, so to speak. And may God be with you, and may the Creator be with you.